Good morning, everybody. This is Sunday, the 15th February. I'm Toxic Lady.
I'm Rix.
And we are getting ready for the 5th game of the Scatterman tournament. We are out of the small tournament games and we are now entering in the extra game because extra derby is always nice. And we are going to see right now Namur versus Newcastle for the second time this weekend.
Let's be honest, today is all about revenge matches. Yeah, that's what it's all about. So Namur beat Newcastle yesterday to save a little pride at the home tournament. And so Newcastle will be looking to apply everything they learnt yesterday today. And then we have Namur taking on Sam, who really, honestly, shook everybody up yesterday with back-to-back wins and quite a dominant display. So we're in for a fantastic morning of roller derby with some extra in the afternoon. But we're getting ready right now for Namur versus Newcastle.
So we are 10 seconds to derby. We'll go into rosters a bit later on during the game. Right now you still see us, but very soon you'll be looking at the players. That's what we want to look at.
We'll be,
but yeah. Okay, I don't know if you're saying
it's a really good jumper, and I totally understand. So there we go. That's what we came for.
Way more interesting now, jumpers.
Namur are actually in the red today. So they wore navy yesterday, but they will be playing in the red today, and Newcastle will be in the white. So that is us set for this morning's game.
All right, 5 seconds have been whistled. Everybody getting ready. We have Ninon versus Peregrine jamming, respectively for Namur and for Newcastle. These two jammers have been going at it very efficiently yesterday. We have been saying their names quite often and counting the points that they scored for each of their team. Ninon going in and now for a first scoring trip after taking the lead very early on, just before the pivot line.
Yeah, Peregrine's being really held up by Namur here. And look, we see, is that star pass? I believe it is. Yeah, we see that. That's Terry Sudren there, taking the star pass duties, chasing down and forcing that call off. So that's exactly what you want to see Newcastle doing if Namur get lead, and vice versa, obviously. Very popular tactic at the moment.
Very efficient, and we have Helen Drew, who is sitting in the penalty box. Yesterday, we saw that the Namur players play quite cleanly. No, can you say that? Like quite,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Only one or a few penalties per players.
Discipline was a bit of an issue for Newcastle yesterday, so if they can clean things up this morning, and with a good night's sleep and a fresh head to come in, it can often make a difference. So we see Bat Smash versus Julia here. Julia was working the inside line there, but is taken back. This is a power jam now in favour of Newcastle. Bat Smash going to the box, so we see Julia getting all the support. Newcastle trying to set them free. Namur chasing down, but no. So Newcastle do have lead, have control of this, and Julia out there quick enough to make a little bit of an impact here. Oh.
Being recycled at the end of the pack by Knappy, who is the captain of the Namur A team. Well, we have the pivot from Newcastle going to sit in a penalty box. And Batmash, still in the penalty box. I think Batmash was about to go back into the game. I saw the little movement of the skates.
It was so close, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think we're starting the third jam of this game in a power start, but not for long. We'll see, Spangled is jamming now and is facing a full crew of Namur blockers.
So Namur setting up in front, looking to try and contain some of those Newcastle offense so that Spangled can do the business on the outside, but locks into the tripod. Everybody backed up into everyone there. Could have done with the reversing camera for a moment, but we're back on our feet and then continuing to drive through turn one. It is Bat Smash out of the box who is driving at the front of the turn, exits and picks up lead for Namur. Way to make amends, Bat Smash.
Yeah, Bat Smash came out of the box really like the first second of the jam, and we had two players from Newcastle in the penalty box, but the pivot is back.
Beautiful,
what did you see?
A beautiful offense there by 394 for Namur, just really allowing Bat Smash to get on through. That was C. There we go. See, still doing the work on the inside line there. Excellent stuff. But Bat Smash is back and taking on Terry Sudron. And, oh, I love a call-off with style, Toxic.
That was very beautiful to see. Number 394, was on the Team Belgium, like many of the Namur Air players. Do you know anything about Newcastle? If some of them were on any team from the UK?
I don't.
Okay, sorry to put you on the
Still
spot.
quite. I have to say my research fails me there. I don't believe so, but I could be wrong. It's the Rottweiler on the outside going up against Namur. It's Namur who comes through on the inside, picks up lead for Namur. So Namur having slightly more joy in these opening minutes. You see the Rottweiler being held there, star cover in hand. But what a pass from Namur there. Making light work of that pack. Newcastle are down 1 though, yes, Toxic?
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Drama Bomb, who picked up the star cover while L'Enroule is doing a second scoring trip. Very nice 3 passes by L'Enroule. Like, I feel like L'Enroule just went through the park without pushing anybody, just find the holes and just slid into it.
I absolutely adore jammers who have almost analysed their line through the pack before they get there. And it's all about that jammer efficiency, which is smart play when you're in a busy weekend of play like we've got here.
And don't spend all your energy pushing people when you could just avoid them.
You can go round people. I know a lot of you like to go through people, but you can go round them. Talking of looking to go round, it's Eradicate versus Pulp. Both of these had quite a bit of joy yesterday, but we see the pack separating now, and you're focused on Eradicate, but as often happens, Namur come into your screen and exit with lead. But we see Eradicate still doing battle. This is a fluid blocking here from Namur.
Yeah, number 39K999 and who's the last one? Number 9, Jackie. Very good blocking tripods, recycling. Just reforming in front of them. Pulp has done a scoring trip and calls it.
But that was excellent from Newcastle because, yes, Pulp got through, got lead, but then they were able to catch and contain, giving Eradicate enough time to put the pressure on for that call-off. So excellent stuff, only giving up the 1 pass, which is where you need to kind of hold things in here. So scores on the board right now. It's 4 to Newcastle, 24 to Namur. Newcastle struggling to get points up, struggling a little to get lead, but we go back to Nignon versus Peregrine.
Newcastle only got lead during the second jam. All the other jams and Namur got the lead. And this time as well, we have a white blocker sitting in the penalty box. So it's 1 less blocker for Ninon to try to go through, but really efficient blocking from Newcastle right now, not wanting anybody. We have 2 nice tripods.
Yeah, we're really focused right now on Peregrine up front and really working that tripod, breaking them apart, attacking the links. And Peregrine was incredibly successful yesterday in getting lead. It is this section now where they need to convert to points that prove problematic for Newcastle. So let's see what Peregrine's got this morning. Comes in, bounces off their own blocker and immediately re-engages with that tripod that did so well to slow her down before. And look at them now, locked in. That's a desperate look over the shoulder for a pivot or an offense
like
or
anybody
a miracle.
Here? Anybody ever still alone?
It's Sunday. Give me a miracle, someone. Ninon, still on the initial, has the star cover in hand and is having no joy. Drama Bomb looks just like doing big arms. But that star pass was beautifully executed. Don't take it unless you can get away, and C got away.
Yeah, that was very nice, handing the cover just under the other players.
But that is excellent. It was only 3 points, but we're converting lead into points, which is something that Newcastle struggled to do yesterday. So Peregrine there with a really good effort.
We are mesmerized and looking at this empty penalty box.
So we're going to have Bat Smash versus Julia here. So Newcastle set up at the back with the 1 Namur blocker in there, trying to disrupt them from the off. Everybody piles up to the inside. It is Julia looking to step on through, but Namur Jammer staying slightly in the deeper water. Bat Smash, and it is Julia, who almost got out, but picks up a penalty. So this is a power jam in favour of Bat Smash, but Bat Smash is being recycled.
And has the lead been called?
Did
you notice?
I don't know. I'm not going to claiming. Yes, Julia did pick up lead and then picked up a track cut. So that's the right order to do it, I guess. But then we will go 2 minutes.
Yep.
So Bat Smash has got the opportunity, but is getting recycled and is a little frustrated about some of those hits.
Forearms or something.
Yeah, so we're seeing a right battle here. More whistles going. Somebody else is picking up a multiplayer there, and that has allowed Bat Smash to get on through. So Namur now back in scoring contention.
And it seems that Bat Smash got lead and immediately calls it.
Yeah. And clean that up. I think that was quite the messy jam. Take advantage of this as you go into the next one, because we have 2 in the box for Newcastle.
Ooh.
A pivot and the blocker. I think that's Fifi Le Bon and Terry Sudren sat in the box right now. We have Namur have number 1, 4, 5, 6. Nana Whoop standing in the box. So it's a little light on track right now, but that'll suit L'Enroule and Spangled, who can take the advantage here. Oh, and it's Spangled who launches up the inside, picks up lead only for the second time. I'm looking at our producer. We might well double check that for you. 3 times. I'm shortchanged in Newcastle. I'm very sorry. But everybody is back in now looking for points. It's chaos in there. Well, an excellent stop. Your driving instructor would have been pleased with that emergency stop.
I don't know if
No
they are driving on
2
skates.
2 points.
2 points for Newcastle. Little by little, try to reduce the gap that Namur just dug earlier during the jam 4 and 5 when they scored 8 and 8 points back to back.
If you can keep them scoreless and just put a couple up yourself, that is great progress for Newcastle. That's what we'll be looking to do. So everybody is looking for some room, and it's the Rottweiler who comes up with it. Pulp, who has been incredibly successful for Newcastle, for Namur, is being held by Newcastle, and all the defensive efforts are locked in on Pulp right now. Look at the star parts. Oh, almost had it.
They tried to, and Pulp keeps it and just go and does the initial.
But
while we have the Rottweiler who has done 1 scoring trip and calls it off.
Beautiful. And sometimes the star pass can offer this diversion, that distraction. You know, so focused that they are going to pass it, that actually keeping it becomes the best option. And Pulp really quickly switched onto that and took the outside line. So keeping Newcastle, only picking up 4, but we're back 11 points between them.
I'm not doing math today. You can do the math.
I will pretend to be Dr. Disaster. Brilliant. We're having a timeout, so let's introduce the skaters to you. Toxic, tell us who's repping Namur this morning.
So we have 000 Buzz Fighter, 03 Knappy, who's the captain, number 12 Ninon, 1456 Nana Whoop, 1957 Pat Smash, 24 Aline, 31 Mad, 39 K, 394C, 537 L'Enroule, 666 Pepe, 6666 M&M, 89 Pulp, 9 Jackie, and 91 Locanos. And how about Newcastle, Riggs?
So for Newcastle, we have 000 Drama Bomb, 028 Smash, 104 Peregrine, 11 Helen Drew, the captain, 1420 Grievous Bodily Harm, 2122 Julia, 22 the Rottweiler, 27 Hit 1 Pearl 1, 495 Eradicate, 540 Charlotte Payne, number 6 Fifi Le Bon, 79 Spangled, 82 Shred, 86 Terry Sudren, and 91 Pretty Skate Machine. And we'll tell you about our wonderful officials in our next timeout, because if yesterday was anything to go by, the second half there will be at least 3 official timeouts. So I'll be able to tell you about everyone. We might even be able to do an episode of Who Do You Think You Are, and we can check my ancestry. But hopefully we might be a little slicker today. Fingers crossed. But we had so many opinions yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We have also Eradicate and Ninon jamming right now. And with full crews of blockers, we are barely getting into the pivot line with Ninon pushing through and getting lead in the first turn. Eradicate taking off the cover and also managing to do the initial pass.
But Newcastle with 2 in the box, one of which is the pivot, Drama Bomb. And they're going to ice them both in the box. Again, it's that penalty trouble. If I look across the board, Namur have picked up 2 penalties so far. Newcastle are on 10. So it's a familiar story from yesterday afternoon, the ill discipline, which is costing Newcastle, to be honest with you.
And it's also, you get used to, skating and playing a different way when you are with different reps. So sometimes things that don't get necessarily picked on a lot with your usual crew of reps, well, is really focused on. While in the meantime, just Batsmash took the lead in the first second of the jam. Very impressive, going on the outside, taking the opportunity that the fact that only 2 blockers for Newcastle.
Yeah, absolutely exploded, but Peregrine tried to do the same down the outside and was unceremoniously dumped to the floor, had to recycle, has cover in hand and is working that outside line right now and has a power jam just as we've done a star pass and we've thrown it back. Terry Sudran is not the jammer, has relinquished the cover. Peregrine continues to be our jammer, but is now going to the box as the jammer. If you are still following, 10 out of 10 to you. But this was a power jam in favour of Newcastle. It's now going to be a power jam in favour of Namur. Of course, Peregrine will only sit for as long as Batsmash sat for, and here comes Batsmash.
I like jammer switcheroo in the penalty box. Not the jammer box. There's no box specifically for jammers.
All of it happening right there. But look at this, locking in now, and in comes the offense. That's K, number 39 for Namur, trying to help out Batsmash, but Newcastle able to force the recycle, looking for a penalty kill here because it wasn't long, and we do have Peregrine back out now, battling slightly ahead of the pack you see here. Oh, coming back in, the star pass may have happened. Yes, there it is. So we see that Drama Bomb, I believe, has picked up the star, is in now. Oh, lovely, picks a line, has got some points there. Namur now trying to decide, offense, defense, what do we do? They decide to lock down on Drama Bomb. Batsmash still battling, trying to use their own team to find gaps. Does so. Beautiful footwork, really strong there to just keep ploughing through that quicksand. Drama Bomb being recycled on the outside.
Well, Batsmash is going for one scoring trip after all that mayhem that occurred over there with all the players getting stick together. Batsmash going very quickly through her own wall, and that's the end of this jam. I'm looking at jammers. Yes, Newcastle also has scored some points.
Oh, I really enjoyed that jam.
They are arguing, just looking at their, showing their fingers. Whoa, points negotiating. What's going on over there? There's been jammer switcheroo, cover being thrown back and forth between jammer and pivot. That was interesting. But 4 points have been scored by each team during this jam.
Honestly, I also really enjoyed Drama Bomb, whose blocker instinct just kicked in right at the end. I might be wearing a star, but I'm still a blocker at heart. But up front, it's Julia taking on Namur. What great toe stop work there to hang on to that, keep themselves inbound, and Julia is your lead for Newcastle. Long rule here, doing battle, trying to drive, cover in hand, go in stealth mode, and this is what happens when Newcastle can keep 4 on the track. Look at them. Fluid, sorry, Fifi Le Bon, that was commentator's curse that sent you to the penalty box. But Long Rule does complete the initial. As we see, Julia will have points in the pocket. We'll want to call this before Long Rule can come in. Yeah, and this is the difference, right? So Namur are able to get through and then put up at least 1 scoring pass, if not 2, maybe 3. But Newcastle are struggling to even get to that 4. So yeah, we look, Namur have had two jams where they've managed multiple passes. Newcastle have done relatively well to hold them a little bit. But yeah, it's that multiple passes. If Newcastle can get some 8-pointers in, they can really kind of close this up a little bit. But Namur are doing so well that even if they do give up lead, Toxic, they're able to catch and contain and keep it to 4 points.
Yeah, Newcastle managed to get lead 5 times during this game so far, and managed to score between 0 and 4 points. One time 0 points, but the other just 4 points. So
Pulp just shot out of there like nobody's business, being chased by Spangled. There's so many whistles going on. They're all going in Newcastle's direction. Oh, this is worse than the football yesterday. Some decisions not going Newcastle's way here. But Pulp making really, really quick work of that. excellent 4-0 in that jam, and they do ice Newcastle with 2 in the box. It's Terry Sudren and Fifi Lebom.
Fifi Lebom as well.
Yeah, they're
forearm penalties.
Yeah, they're having a bit of penalty trouble. They're up to 13 now for Newcastle, 4 on the board for Namur. So really is the dominant narrative of this half.
We're getting ready for the 14th jam of this game with Ninon and the Hot Wheeler behind the jam line, and we have one Newcastle blocker coming back from the penalty box, and Ninon taking on the lead jammer status just before the pivot line.
Rottweiler still working away on the initial pass here, and is faced once again with that incredibly solid tripod from Ninon. Lovely footwork there from Ninon to come through on the inside, making light work of that pass. The Rottweiler, though, having a right time of things. We are just trying to see what's going on here. There we go. So Rottweiler with the cover in hand is still trying to get out, but Ninon just doing laps right now, frankly, taking advantage of the chaos and Newcastle's focus on offense. You've got to make a choice sometimes. Do we go for it? We have the star pass. That's Terry Sudren with the star in hand. And there it is. There's the escape from the pack to force this call off. Ninon, though, through with another scoring pass there. And that's their biggest one of the game so far, I believe. A 12-pointer to Ninon, who I believe was the highest scorer yesterday as well, one of.
We didn't look at exactly how many points each jammer scored.
No.
Are you just talking about doing that game?
I don't really know. Pick a stat, but Ninon's been up there.
I don't have any of these stats either way.
Yeah. Ninon has absolutely been up there in terms of putting up the points for Namur. I think yesterday at one point they scored 41 in one of the games.
Oh yeah, that's true. And that was composing half of the points of the whole team. That was quite impressive. Yeah. Right now we are facing a team timeout asked by Newcastle, and there's less than 13 minutes for this game.
Yeah, they need to sort their mindset out. They need to have a conversation about what they're going to do to change up. So we're just over halfway through. We've got 12 minutes left on the clock, but Newcastle, like I said, have racked up 14 penalties at this point. And it's blocker penalties this time. Yesterday it seemed to be a little bit more jammer focused. They seem to have cleaned things up a little bit, and we've gone from there. But yeah, we're struggling to keep blockers on the track. So just the scores as we look to resume any moment now. 20 on the board for Newcastle, 48 to Namur. We're going to have L'Enroule versus Eradicate, and they are off. And it is Eradicate who comes out of there fresh from a little pep talk from the bench to pick up lead.
That was efficient. Newcastle has picked up lead like every 3 or 4 jams. That's the thing.
But it's this conversion, and what we need to see Eradicate do now is 3 laps, frankly. Not to be harsh, but that is what you want to change the momentum here, is a couple of multi-passes. So can they make the difference? The star pass from Namur, and there's that second pass. Yeah. This is exactly what Newcastle will have wanted. This is exactly what their bench will have asked for, and they are delivering right now. Namur, while threatening, putting the pressure on, and Newcastle going to run it because obviously they're ahead 2 laps to 1 at this point. Namur only just coming in for their first scoring pass, so you're going to come out ahead on this one. If Eradicate especially can lap now as well, but that's the risk.
To the
There's
box.
The risk. That is always the risk of running the jam. And there's the penalty.
Yeah. So we were looking at Eradicate having managed to do 2 scoring trips. That's the maximum that Newcastle has been able to do so far during this game, and is sent to the penalty box for a 4-1 penalty. Meanwhile, the pivot become jammer number 31, Mad, has managed to do 1 for a scoring trip and is going back for a second one.
So we are locked in here on that straight away. Everybody doing battle on the outside is L'Enroule, but we are going backwards here. Everybody is recycling.
Going back.
Be kind, rewind. So Eradicate is back on track now. Everybody is out of the penalty box, and everybody is in turn 4. It's Eradicate looking for space up front. There is Terry in there with offering some offense. The jam comes to an end. Let's see what came out, because obviously Eradicate will have points in the pocket as well. 11-7 in favour of Newcastle. That's the kind of little swing that Newcastle will have really wanted from that timeout, Toxic.
Yeah, definitely, and that's their highest scoring jam so far.
And they didn't get any penalties. Well, I was going to say they didn't get any penalties in there, but of course they did.
Blockers did not get any penalties.
Didn't get
they
any
did
penalties.
block, all of them. Pulp and Peregrine behind the Jamala right now, entering the 16th jam. Ooh, that is some tight pack that we see over there.
It's like the Six Nations. This I thought it was rugby for a second. But on the outside, it is Peregrine who does an excellent job of picking up those wheels and claiming lead. Namur looking for the star pass here, or just looking to distract, but they have to set up now as Peregrine is back on them, coming up the inside. But a great hit means a big recycle and allows Pulp that time to get on out, put the pressure on Peregrine to grab these points, and will look to force the call off unless Newcastle are feeling brave. And yeah, I think the last jam will have taught them to maybe take their points.
Ooh, as we go into the next jam, we have Newcastle skaters. I don't know if you saw that on your screen, but who really rushed to get the jam line. Have you seen that as being a very common strategy lately, Riggs?
No, not really, actually. I've not noticed it yet.
We have encountered that a lot, especially playing against French teams. The fight for the jammer line is really occurring quite often.
I have to say I've noticed it in the French game, because the French game is all about speed to me. They are weaponizing speed beautifully in France, and hopefully you stay tuned, watch some later. But what you should be watching right now is the beautiful footwork of Julia, but Namur were able to hold out. So big recycle on Julia. Ninon up front is still doing battle. Somebody's getting a penalty. It's a Newcastle blocker, shocker. So we are back in it. Up front, pushing really hard here is Ninon, trying to stretch that pack out so far that the camera has to come out to show it. Really elongated everything there, and it is your lead jammer. But Julia taking a little bit of advantage there, some confusion to escape as well. So even if you can't get lead, you just need to hold jammers like Ninon to one pass. Yeah, that, you know, right now, that's exactly where Newcastle need to be, maintaining this sort of 11 to 15 point differential and not allowing it to get any bigger. Because, like we said, we've only managed one jam where they've done a multiple scoring pass.
That's right. That's the jam that was the two jams before, jam 15, where they scored 11. Otherwise, it's been 3, 4, or 0.
Yeah, so they really, they need to focus on limiting as well. So it's a really hard thing to balance, isn't it? Really hard thing to balance.
Yeah. And we can have a look at a nice little dance that Newcastle blockers did on the track, while we have the official review being asked by Namur, being discussed right now in the middle. Maybe we can talk about our referees and non-skating official right now.
Well, we're having a little look at them. Why not?
Go ahead, tell us who the skating officials are.
We got skating officials. I'll read the right side of the paperwork. We have Wonder Zebra, Mad Mum, Glitter is here, Trixie Oz, Green Thunder, Lucas, and Johnny Z Bravo.
And the non-skating officials for this game are Bane in the Ass, Killer Queen, Flora, Eagle Eye Mary, My Name is Jeff, Just Flem, The Wall, Math Murderer, Moto Jorjond, Lock and Roll. I think some of these people are not here, actually. I think.
Are we giving out false credit? Outrageous.
But
I'm sure they were
selected.
here yesterday. I'm sure they were here yesterday, probably done the shift as well. Do you know what I mean? But
I think some people were sick, and it's very sad when you miss roller derby because health doesn't allow you to. So we are looking at the referees talking about things.
So we still have Namur versus Somme coming up next. So Namur doing the back-to-back like Somme did yesterday morning. So Somme beat everybody yesterday morning. So Namur will be looking for a little revenge there, just like Newcastle are looking for a little revenge this morning. And then we go to Namur B and Namur C teams who are playing this afternoon for our entertainment. So we're just getting the update on the official review for you. And Toxic will be able to tell us what's occurring.
Well, I actually won't. I just can tell you that it has been lost. That's the whole information I was given.
Okay.
I was not given any more details. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that's good to know.
That's good to know, indeed. We are going back. So you were telling us about Sam from Mérignac, who really ripped the floor yesterday, coming in 19th the rank.
Yeah, I want a poster of Ping Pong. I've decided
Pimpon?
my new favourite. Is it Pimpon?
Pimpon.
Pimpon. I will nail that one today in terms of pronunciation. But yeah, one of my new favourite jammers, an absolute delight to watch. But get your eyes right back on the screen now, because it's Long Rule versus Spangled, and there's not a lot between these two teams. And it is Long Rule who is working at the back, but Spangled is driving at the front. But always keep your eyes peeled, because the Namur jammers have a habit of exploding from the pack and zipping past that front. But driving really well right now is Spangled. The pack does catch up, and there we go, up the inside. You see Long Rule.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen this one before, Toxic.
And have you seen, you can't see it on the screen, but there are two Newcastle blockers sitting in the penalty box, and the third one who was coming in, and you have your apex jump. That's what you were excited about, right?
It was almost it was more of an apex hop. Oh, we have a third Newcastle blocker going to the box.
Yeah, because they were in the queue. They were tried to go earlier, but they were sent back because there was no spot for them to sit on. So the pivot from Newcastle is back on the track. It's still just 3 blockers from Newcastle on the track. Laurel is coming in, trying to make a third scoring trip, pushing her way, meeting people's face and shoulders.
And there is a pair to meet, Drama Bomb and Helen Drew, now backed up by Shred. I mean, that is a power lineup if ever I saw. And Long Rule just backs away and says, I've got my points, I don't need this. I don't need this in my life.
Being a bit fed up with the whole thing, the whole catch.
Yeah, that's a tripod not to take on, Toxic. I'm just saying. That was smart decision making there. So icing just the one Newcastle blocker in the box, which means Pulp will only have to take on 3, and Pulp has a habit of making short work of this. The Rottweiler, though, not to be underestimated, has played incredibly well this weekend, but let's see, it's Pulp who gets the biggest push off the line, driving up front, but look at the Rottweiler. Oh, got caught up in the back there, almost ran straight into the back of Pulp, who is taken to the outside. Terry Sudran doing a good job to just re-enter there, but can't contain Pulp, who does go through, picks up lead, while the Rottweiler stuck here just at the exit of turn 2. Lovely hit there. I believe that was Bat Smash, who's doing a bit of blocking there.
And very interesting, I was looking at the Newcastle setup from the start, and they still had one person doing the offense for the jammer. And they're just like, yeah, Pulp, just 2 blockers. Even though there are just 3 blockers in the start, they still chose to have 1 assist to help out their jammer. They didn't help out. Pulp still took up the league. And we have the star pass with Terry Sudran, pivot becoming jammer for nothing now. But actually, the penalty box is empty. The last Newcastle blocker who was sitting there got out just before the end of the jam.
But Namur have done an amazing job here of responding to that great jam that Eradicate Newcastle had, and Namur immediately responded to that and have shut things down and have really pulled away now. 34 on the board for Newcastle, plays 78 to Namur. And yeah, it's definitely swung in the direction of Namur as we go into this final 5 minutes of the half. You're going to have Ninon versus Eradicate, probably the 2 most successful jammers of the game so far, doing battle. And it is on the outside, Ninon, who looks like they're going to come through, but on the inside, Eradicate gets driven to the outside. Ninon now back in the lead and is able to just slalom through those Newcastle blockers after spreading them apart. Eradicate goes stealth mode, avoids the hits, and also is out, but he's a full lap. Yes, lovely stuff, Ninon. Keep doing that. Obviously, Newcastle are like, no, just if you could not, that would be great. But yes, as an entirely neutral commentator, I am here for it. And another 4 unanswered points put up by Namur. It's not just an offensive delight for them, but defensively, it is working beautifully.
Even though we have a big point difference, well, not huge, but still between the 2 teams, on the biggest jammer scoring is actually Pulp, and the maximum point was 12.
Yeah.
And actually, Newcastle is not far from that because just after their team timeout, they scored 11 points.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how many times that happens during the game, and they managed to take advantage of that. In the meantime, we have a power jam in favor of Basmash.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Peregrine picked up a forearms, and that sent Peregrine to the box, and Bat Smash grabs 4 and ices Peregrine, who is still sat in the box right now. So that is going to give probably about 15, maybe 20 at best seconds to Namur here to really take advantage of this power jam start. It looks like Long Rule will be taking the jam line for this. Newcastle do also have Drama Bomb in the box as well. So a blocker and a jammer down, not ideal. But let's see what they can do here to try and contain Long Rule. The offense comes in from Namur. It's almost one-on-one, and that is enough to break things up. And Larule picks a route through. Or they've got themselves a goat, but decided to let her go back to the crowd. Just going to get in amongst it. Just try and make it unsettled in that tripod, make life easier for Long Rule. Peregrine out, yes, re-entering now on your screen, looking to work the outside, looking to catch Namur unawares. More whistles.
Yeah, I was looking exactly at that.
It's a Namur blocker.
You have to change it a little bit sometimes. You know, everybody can make penalties, and we have Peregrine who's out of the pack, while we have L'Enroule going in for a second scoring trip.
Yeah, has got those points, but has been made to work for them over and over and over again. Turns and faces Peregrine, and that calls it off. So another 8-0 pass there, and oh, that is now quite the differential. Newcastle on 34, Namur on 94 now. I don't think I saw anybody break the century in the first half yesterday.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, it was everybody was getting close. So we are looking right now very excitedly, just less than 2 minutes for this half time.
So
and only 6 points to go. Technically, Pulp can do it.
Oh,
but look at that. It's Julia who took the lead.
Great awareness there. Just being able to leap back out of the way of the contact and keep on going. So this will be, this could be a nice jam for Newcastle to close out with. And it is Eradicate, the only jammer who's had any success in terms of multiple scoring passes. So this is great. Looking for the star pass there. That was lovely. I really enjoyed that, but a great hit there. It does cost Terry Sudren, but that is number 27 who was there to back up. Everybody's hitting the floor right here in front of us, but there goes the star pass.
And Julia has managed to do 2 scoring trips. It's only the second time that happened during this game.
This will be their biggest jam.
It is.
That's 12 points.
Now that's 12 points. That's the maximum point that Newcastle has been to score so far, and also Namur.
Yeah, and actually, if Eradicate can complete this pass, it's the biggest jam of the game.
Don't jinx it. Just look at what's going to happen.
That's number 2. Yeah. Going in for number 3. Hips have got to go round. The call's coming in from the bench. The call's coming in from the bench, and everybody's screaming. It finally reaches the exit of turn 3, and it is called. And let's see. I don't see 15.
Yeah, highest scoring jam of the game. But Namur also got in and reached out the central mark. This is so perfect. But it's not the last jam, though. It's not the last
one more in at this half time, so that is fantastic. So 49 on the board to Newcastle. Eradicate picking up a whopping 15 points in the biggest jam of the game so far. Namur picking up 6 points in that one, taking them to a nice round 100. So it's a 51-point lead, which sounds like a lot, but in roller derby, anything can happen. I'm talking with my hands. You're now back with me. I'm going to calm down a little bit. But this is exactly what we've wanted to see. This is they get to take everything they learnt yesterday and apply it today. God love my canny belters. I need them to clean up in this second half, Toxic. Look at my penalty board here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Have you noticed that what was very specific about the last jam is that we had 2 Namur blockers in the penalty box at the start of the jam, which had never happened so far during this game because they played a very clean games. That never happens that they are in the penalty box in between jams. So Julia really took advantage of that many times, as we can see. And still no orange or yellow on the penalties.
But it is a massive difference. Namur have already picked up 8 penalties in that half. Newcastle clocking up a whopping 24 penalties. It is the story of the half, okay? So come back. Let's see if Newcastle can keep it clean, and let's see if Namur maybe run away with this. We are going to get back to the action right now. Namur in the red, Newcastle in the white. You have Ninon versus Peregrine as your jammers. It is a 51-point lead to Namur. They also have lead in this jam now. Peregrine will get in. And honestly, the story of the first half was the ill discipline from Newcastle, unable to keep a full complement of blockers on the track. And that has really cost them multiple scoring laps from Namur, as we see Ninon going in and actually just grabbing the 4 points and holding Newcastle scoreless to open up this second half.
I'm just looking at the score. So nothing has changed. Namur just reached the century mark just before the end of the first half time. Newcastle barely trying to reach the 50 mark points. And now we have Bat Smash facing Julia.
So that last jam, it was 3 points picked up by Ninon. As we go back in now,
that's what I was wondering about. Sorry,
it was a slightly late one. The ref was just double checking, but we saw those coming up right at the end here. It was a pack advantage for the start for Namur there, but Newcastle now everyone back on track. But Bat Smash has taken advantage of that minimal blockers in his back in on a scoring pass now, but coming round hot on the heels very shortly into the picture. There we go, bum first, as is the current fashion.
And is it me, or is there way more hit than yesterday? Or is it just because it occurred just in front of our faces? I'm like, oh, blockers just keep on hitting.
No, that's just blockers.
Okay,
if you are, maybe it's me, but I do notice them. They don't need jammers to hit. They'll just hit each other while they're standing around doing nothing.
Legally on the track during the
you're there.
The time.
Let me hit you.
Yep.
It's going to be Namur versus Eradicate. Eradicate, the most successful jammer for Newcastle in the first half, putting up a whopping 15 points, largest jam of the game so far. Namur, though, has been steady and patient, picking up a couple of 8-pointers in the first half, so very effective. But the Newcastle defence seemed to have wised up a little bit here. Eradicate is on the outside, 1 to beat, stays inbound, picks up lead for Newcastle. So we saw this a little bit in the opening of the first half. Newcastle were able to live with Namur for a little bit, but as it went on, it got a little bit tougher. But this is what they need to see. Star pass, was that Toxic?
Yeah, it was star pass here, taken by the pivot number 9, Jackie, and who is coming in and not getting anything because Eradicate just saw that and calls it off after scoring a whooping 3 points for Newcastle.
Yeah, great jammer awareness. And we're seeing that battle for the jam line again, Toxic, playing out. Newcastle straight out there. They do have the bench advantage right now, being right next to it. So maybe that will help them out a little bit in this second half. You're going to see Pulp going up against Spangled.
Yeah, I'm just trying to assess, where the skates, if everything is fine, but everything was perfectly legal in front of German line. We have Pulp who is pushing through, but it's now Spangled, I couldn't remember the name, who has taken the lead jammer status for the second time in a row during this second half of the game for Newcastle. Pulp coming in, and of course, Spangled just calls it off right before Pulp come in, and 2 points by Spangled right now.
But what's really important is that's just 3 points. In fact, actually got an extra one in there, and they did. But more to the point, they held Namur scoreless in that one. So 55 to Newcastle, 107 to Namur. An empty penalty box. Everyone battling for that jam line. We have a little shuffle around now. That's Terry Sidran looking for a position, I think, in there, the Newcastle pivot.
So it's a 52 points difference right now. It's Namur has really taken the lead of points during this game, and we have a Namur tripod in front of the pack, and now Ninon just squeezing it and on the outside and takes up the lead, while we have Peregrine just fighting this behind this red tripod, taking off the cover, but the pivot is nowhere to pick it up, just focusing on, yeah, what did you see?
No, so we're just Ninon coming back in to score, but yeah, we've both got both jammers out of the pack now. Ninon a lap ahead though, has 4 points in the pocket. Peregrine now will be coming in, trying to put the pressure on Ninon, who you can see lurking on the back straight away near their bench, just ready to call it, but Namur blockers run away, just made everybody to make a nice exit.
So coming in, 111, 111. It's a nice number to say. 111 points for Namur, with Basmash going to score 4 points in the last jam. And we have full crews of blockers on the Newcastle side and just 3 for Namur.
This is exactly what Newcastle need to do, be cleaner and take advantage when they can. Julia is looking to do that up front, as it is just that tripod. But is really, really well formed by Namur here. Very fluid. Here comes the offense. That is pretty skate machine. But is forced to kind of bridge now in that supporting role. The packs are coming back. You see Namur now dropping a blocker, having to bridge. But Julia is being held up beautifully. That is Pepe doing the business. And oh, look at that. Bat smash, gets free, finds an inside line, picks up lead from nowhere for Namur.
Julia taking off the cover, trying to get through. Well, we see Bat Smash coming in the Newcastle tripod with the help from 6666 M&M from Namur. We have Julia pushing, have one last, oh no. When you think you got rid of, Namur blockers, they just reappear in front of you.
Yeah.
That must be so annoying.
I mean, that's all the sixes. So many sixes in there. It's M&M and Pepe doing the business on Drama Bomb, but somebody gets a penalty, one of the six. Oh, it's Pepe. Pepe goes to the box for Namur. Drama Bomb gets on through. Bat Smash, though, able to grab a second handful of points and call it before Drama Bomb can come through. But again, if you can only hold them to 2, hold them to 2. It's better than nothing. But we stay at 55 for Newcastle. 8 points there takes Namur to 119. And it is Namur with the slight penalty trouble. One at a time. Everybody having their go in the box in this second half. But Newcastle coming back at them. But the jamming efficiency from Namur is fabulous.
Yeah, and having so few blockers in the box compared to the Newcastle players, it really is an advantage that Namur took upon. And what we see right now is Eradicate taking lead jammer status. Some switcheroo, some confusion about who's going to the box. Eradicate coming back for a scoring trip. Yes. Wow, and a very fast pass.
Yes, really fast, and that is excellent. But we see the star pass. Fabulous tactic here now, putting the pressure on Eradicate to pick a path through here. Look at that offense. Brilliant stuff. Oh, taken on the outside. Going to be recycled. They're going to run this one, and they do have a blocker in the box standing now. So they can run this just for another 10 seconds. But unfortunately for Newcastle, Namur does get through, so all square on points. Don't forget, Eradicate will have points in the pocket right now. Calls it from the floor to prevent Namur from picking any up. What do we reckon, 3?
I don't reckon anything.
Yes, called it.
Yeah, you were right.
So Newcastle picking up 7 points in that jam with Eradicate, taking them to 62 points. Namur on 123. You've got 21 minutes to go.
And you can see the Mérignac Sam players getting warm up behind the track. And also this fight for the Jamalai. Can you see, they're all spreading up their legs, trying to really take that line. The Jamalai seems to be the place to be. Even though before they took the pivot line. I was a bit surprised earlier. I don't know if you remember, but it was for Laurel. I'm like, do you really want to leave that much space for Laurel? It doesn't seem like an interesting strategy. But look at that. Pulp coming in from the inside, just facing Newcastle blockers, while we have the Rottweiler who is being held at the end of the pack, even though there's an assist on the Newcastle from number 9-1, Pretty Skate Machine, who has been a consistent blocker doing offense, and it's I don't know my words.
That's
it's
a Rottweiler. Really for the Rottweiler. Absolutely. So it's been really interesting. Oh no, we're going to power jam.
No.
No, Rottweiler picked up a penalty there. It was a multiplayer.
And apparently still has the lead jammer status, because Pulp doesn't have it. It's going to be a 2-minute jam.
Right, so what can Pulp do here? Pulp has been very efficient in the jamming. Does usually do quite a good job of making a quick pass, but Newcastle doing their best to slow this down. But there it is. There's the turn of pace up the inside. Pulp through for a second scoring pass. But Rottweiler rejoins now in the slipstream of Pulp. Both re-engage. Namur able to grab a lovely little shirt whip there on Rottweiler, using everything they can to get on through. But Namur just seemingly able to reform in front and lock down. Really slowing the progress. Great shove there. Oh no, does get a penalty. So the pivot picks it up. It was a great shove. It wasn't legal. So the Rottweiler goes on through. Pulp has got points in the pocket. That's a third scoring pass. And wisely, Namur are going to run this now, because their pivot and a second blocker are in the box. So this game is all about penalties. Who can you keep on track? There's not a lot between them when they're both at their full complement. It is about keeping it clean, doing the right things, as we see Pulp fighting away. And the Rottweiler back in.
Knappy, number 03, recycling, even though there was some assist on the Newcastle blocker, but still managed to make the Rottweiler recycle at the end of the pack. Very impressive defense from Namur. And you can see it's that, okay, 4. Hey, hang on, isn't that, no, it's not the best. 13 points being scored right now by Namur, and I can't recall if it's the highest. It's the highest this half-time for sure.
In this half, yes.
But
15 in the first half.
Yeah, we had 15. So the second highest scoring trip.
And we go, take us to 70 to Newcastle, 136 to Namur. Ninon out and lead jammer for Namur. Spangled in there, one to beat, also out. Oh, I thought Eminem was going to go for it then, but this is now a race. Will the pack speed up? No, they stand and wait. Now they run. We see the offense coming in from Namur, driving it forward. Ninon gets around the one, calls it. 2 or 3 points, I think, there for Namur. So happy to grab and deny Newcastle, but they did not. Spangle, cheers there. Stole a point at the last. Love that. High five as well on the way back. Oh, a 2-1. Very nice.
Yeah, 2-1. All of this for these points.
Love this. And that battle for the jam line really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's taking place.
They all want to be in there.
Yeah.
Nobody's setting up in their tripods.
Look at the inside and the outside. I'm like, this is just white on the outside and in the inside.
But it is not yielding much joy for the jammers. Bat Smash looks for the inside. It's Peregrine who finds the daylight on the inside, is lead. So Bat Smash, though, barely a quarter of a track behind. Namur happy to set up at the back. Oh, coming in hard. So we'll call that one. Any points? Was. That was brave, and it was rewarded with 3 points for Peregrine there, taking Newcastle to 74. Namur held on that jam to 138. You have 17.5 minutes to go.
We have Laurel and Eradicate behind the jam line right now. Just one blocker from Namur in the penalty box. And we know that that doesn't happen often. And Newcastle is really trying to make the best of having fewer Namur blockers on the track. Eradicate just pushing indeed in front of the back and getting leads. Well, we have Laurel just thinking of the star cover and behind the pack, and actually getting sent to the penalty box. It's a power jam in favor of Newcastle. Eradicate has already taken the lead jammer status, has just managed to do one scoring trip, and is coming in for another one.
So penalties, as I've said, have been the story so far. Newcastle have actually only picked up 2 so far in this second half, whereas it looks like to me Namur have picked up at least 7 in this half, or the first half of the second half, if you follow.
The fourth.
So that is what is really kind of playing with this game right now. And so we see Newcastle managing to claw that gap back a little bit here. 82 on the board for them, an 8-point jam there, and Namur 138 points. We're going to have a timeout for Namur, and I think that's a wise decision from the bench. Good game management, because Newcastle were just starting to find a little bit of rhythm there. And if nothing else, you've now interrupted that.
That's what you want. You don't want the continuous strike of points coming, because you know what? Newcastle has actually scored points regularly these past 5 jams.
Yep.
And that's interesting, even if it's just a few. And on the other side, Namur has scored big jams because we had, you know, the power jam situation. But otherwise 0 from Namur in the past 2 jams. So it's really an interesting momentum that Newcastle was having. And as you properly said, you wanted to interrupt that momentum.
Yeah.
You don't want that momentum to go against you. Well,
No.
Newcastle wanted to go for them for sure.
And with Jammer in the box, it's sometimes good to take that time out to give them that extra bit of time to just calm, so that we don't get into that spiral situation. It's so easy to boomerang out of that box and find yourself right back in there and wondering, how did this happen? So if you can just take the temperature out of the situation, hopefully we can get Long Rule back out on track and Namur can get back in control of this. Newcastle, though, of course, will have had the same time, and maybe they've got something up their sleeves. Little bit of new games on the line here, trying something different. What should we do?
Well, Peregrine is behind the jammer line, all alone there, and really taking advantage. And already out just after the pivot line, taking on the jammer status on the 5 seconds.
That was fantastic from Peregrine there. But we see a star pass. I thought it was a little bit odd that Ninon was wearing the pivot stripe, but there it is, coming to the rescue as Peregrine is in, grabs points, and playing safety first. Take what you can, get out of there. Got all 4 points. Fantastic work from Peregrine there. Short, sharp and efficient.
Yeah, I'm sure that they want to reach the century line in the last 15 minutes of this game. 138 for Namur, 86 for Newcastle. Namur has led the game so far, but Newcastle definitely shows great.
Yeah, they're creeping up. I think it was like a 52-point lead at one point. We're down somewhere in the high 40s, I think, now, as we see Pulp and Julia go to battle. But Pulp, once again, gets through, picks up lead, and it was assisted by the fact that Newcastle had 2 in the box. So light on the defence, and Julia is struggling here with the full complement of Namur, who do force the big rewind all the way back to the exit of turn 4. That is, and the 2 wall doesn't know what to do here. Offense, defense, what do we do? Julia making some progress, but Pulp back in. It was a good catch by Newcastle. We've got number 9 from Namur in there, trying to play some offense. We're all back in the jam start straight away. Drama Bomb in there, trying to throw some offense. Somebody picking up some penalties, multiplayer. It's a red, 3-1. that one I can hear quite clearly. Namur blocker now making their way to the box. Namur have 8 points in the bag already. Pulp will have got some more in the pocket here, but Drama Bomb has taken the star pass and will be looking to force this call off. There it comes now as Drama Bomb arrives in your picture. So that's 12 points, I reckon.
Let's see.
We're looking. Did we get all 4? Staring.
We are staring at things that just people are talking.
Stripey. Stripey people are talking.
But Namur is already ready for the next jam. We have Bass Match behind the jammer line. Eradicate as well. stripes are still talking on the other side of the track. And what do you say?
It's
You
three.
said,
It's three.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't. I gave all 4. I was too generous. So an 11-point jam unanswered really puts Namur back into that comfortable spot here. That's the biggest differential, I believe, so far. Just taking it back over to 50 points. We've got a double penalty for number 31. It's because they didn't leave the track.
Yeah.
Because if the man has to shout at you 3 times, he's probably in trouble, to be honest. But they were right in the business on the inside line, doing the thing. So it happens.
They were busy.
It happens. So Bat Smash going up against Eradicate. Bat Smash looking to work that sideways angle on the inside line. Is able to drive forward a little bit. Namur kind of arriving in front there. That's number 24, looking to play some offense. I think he distracted Newcastle just enough, to be honest with you, for Bat Smash to take advantage. So Namur here really applying some control despite their penalty troubles.
Yeah, because we have 2 blockers from Namur in the penalty box right now and 1 from Newcastle. But a third one from Namur going out, but can't sit, so I have to go back to the track. And that allowed Eradicate to swing around, but that's not forgetting a Bat Smash, who is the, I don't care. I'm the jammer. I can go back wherever I want and I will get my blockers out of the penalty box. It is so amazing. I love when that happens.
Eradicate is entertaining the game, and I have to say, full. I mean, all the way back. Bat Smash does it. I can't even remember the last time I actually saw that happen and it would be successful.
And Bat Smash managed to get 2 of the blockers out of the pack. One was waiting to go back there, so that was successful.
No, I'm clapping. I am actually applauding Bat Smash right here. That was beautiful, but Eradicate did entertain it. So you got it. It takes 2 of you to play that game. So here we go. They're back together, entering the pack now. Everybody looking for their line. Drummer Bomb looking to play offense and leaving Newcastle up front. But Bat Smash is making light work. A 2-wall to drive against here. Really pushing. Finds that room. Just dives to the outside and ducks back in to complete that one. Well done, Bat Smash. That was quite the jam.
That was, and the penalty box is empty.
Yeah, which is
after all that,
which is exactly what Namur will have wanted. Newcastle did pick up 4 points, that taking them to 90. We have Namur now picking up 8 points in that jam, taking them to 157. So they're just getting away from Newcastle now. That's a 67-point lead. Newcastle will be looking to do as much damage limitation as they can in this final 11. As we say, your GPA is what this is all about. So. If you're going to get beat, that's one thing, but don't get beat by too much.
There's 38 people watching us on the stream, but no messages, just a little hello, Trinity NT. And if you are watching, please tell us where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, and what's your favorite action so far. My favorite action so far is definitely the Jammer duel and Bat Smash ejecting the Newcastle Jammer and recycling them a whole turn. Eat the baby.
When was the last time we saw somebody actually eat the baby?
Eat the baby?
The baby, David.
Don't remember.
I've gone full Schitt's Creek. The baby. The baby is crying. I can't believe Eradicate joined in. My principle on this is I'm not playing. I would just stand there. But I am also incredibly stubborn and lazy, so that is very explainable. But Eradicate was just like, nah, I'm skating. Let's get on with this. I'll do it again. That's not a problem.
Let's thank our sponsor for this event, because this event is happening because we have so many people helping out. Thank you all of the volunteers who are helping the Namur League organization. Thank you so much, Namur. But also the city of Namur is, supporting this event. La Wallonie, this is Wallonia, the region.
It's the region.
It's the region.
Yeah.
Because, we have 6 levels of governments in Belgium, because that's fun. And Le Neuchâtel, that's a bakery in Andenne, and we do like, good bread in Belgium. That's nice.
It's good here. The carbs are good
The carbs are good. And also carbs in beers, La Houpe, which is the beer that Namur is selling usually just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Perfect gift. La Houpe is also a great sponsor of this event and of the league. Thank you to all our sponsors.
Some fabulous support here. And if it sounds good to you, and you fancy some carbs, beer or bakery, get yourself here in June when we have the Euro Champs. We've got playoffs Namur will be hosting. But right now they're really focused on this game here. Ninon going up against Peregrine. Terry Sutton just take it out, people. And we see everybody into the middle. Both jammers jammed in. Peregrine backs up now, looks for some options. Steps back in, but it is Ninon up front who's driving, who does with a lovely lift of the leg, is able to escape the pack with lead here. So Peregrine fighting on that inside line. Good jammer awareness to know whether to be able to step back in. Takes the start cover off. Ninon already back in now on a scoring pass.
A very nice star pass right there. The number 86, Terry Sturgeon, was blocking Ninon and managed to sneakily get the cover and get through because no one was watching. That was really, really great. Ninon makes second scoring trip, and Terry Sturgeon is also out of the pack now and has also picked up 4 points as well for Newcastle.
Namur running this one. Ninon goes through, but Terry is back in, doing battle, picking up some points, or we'll already have some in the pocket, but here comes Ninon for another one.
Guten Morgen, greetings from Bear City. Hello, thank you so much for watching from Berlin.
It is currently 8-all. Ninon on this third pass will have points in the pocket, but this will level things up. Oh, there we go. Ninon gets on through. That's 12 now, but Terry is back in. We'll also be getting points. We're going all the way. Oh, do we not have a lead jammer?
That's exactly what I was looking at. I was like, Ninon is not running it. Ninon doesn't have the lead and cannot call it off. That's the thing.
Yeah, it must have been a no pass, no penalty. You must have missed that. That's what assuming gets you.
Oh, jammer duel over there.
Well, it's a blocker. Terry is a blocker at heart. That's a pivot turn jammer. They're always going to want a little shoulder shuffle there. So, Ninon getting in. Oh, lovely step through the inside line there. Oh!
99 points for Newcastle, almost. Oh, that's
the pivot.
It's so many points.
The pivot set the second highest score for Newcastle in this game.
Awesome.
And then Ninon goes out and says, you know what, I saw you on 19 yesterday.
It's not enough.
I saw you on 19.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Could do better.
See my 20.
That's really impressive.
Oh.
Ninon scoring 20 points on the last jam, the highest scoring jam. And also both teams were scoring a lot, and that's quite something. It happened once
Maybe we
earlier.
get rid of lead jammers and we just let everybody do battle like that. Is that how it used to work in the old school? I can't really remember.
I don't want to remember these days.
Everybody's like, no, Riggs, that's a lot of cardio. Let's not do that.
In the Namur League, we have tried the proposition of rules that to alternate the lead. If you have the lead in one jam, then you can't have the lead in the next jam. We tried that during a game, the A team against the B team lately. And also the other proposition that we wanted to try is the 45 seconds. Like if you got the lead and then, you can't get the lead, you can't call it the jam in the first 45 seconds. I'm not explaining really well because I see on your face.
I get where you're going. And I think there is an Instagram account where they are discussing all these potential things that we can do to
There's a blog post that is like 15 pages long and explains the whole thinking process behind. It is interesting.
Yeah. What are your opinions at home? What do you think? What would you change about roller derby if we gave you the power? Say tomorrow morning you woke up as the WFTDA president.
Gosh.
Shout out to Bay Runner and all the work they are doing. But if that was you tomorrow, apart from staring at your inbox going, why are we doing champs in Malmo? What would you change? What would you get rid of? And no, you can't get rid of forearms.
Mick, can you tell us if you are, because you are answering us online, what would you change in the roller derby?
So,
well, I heard also
it's official review.
Yeah, it's an official review. But will we get information? That's the question.
$64 million
I don't
question.
see anybody coming to us and giving us any information. So we're just going to have to roll with it.
Well, nobody's in the box apart from the pivots for Namur, so who knows? Answers on a postcard. Or stick them in the chat.
Last 9 minutes of the game, we have Julia behind the jumper line.
What a speedy exit from Julia to grab lead. L'Enroule is half a lap behind. All of the blockers are now having a little fight in amongst turns 1 and 2. Getting ready. In comes Julia in with speed. Tries to pick off a few. Helped out by Drama Bomb there. And they do, in fact, so in the last jam they broke the century mark, taking them to 101. Namur on 177. Did anybody get any points there?
That's what I'm looking at. Yay!
2 cheeky little points there for Newcastle, which leaves us nicely at a 74-point differential as we head into the final 8 minutes of the game. It's going to be Pulp versus Eradicate.
With one less blocker.
The pivot's still in there.
Yeah. And we know that Newcastle like to take advantage because that doesn't happen often. Usually they are facing a full crew of Namur blockers when Eradicate and Pulp are still fighting behind and then with each other, being recycled all the way in the second turn. Also, with the pivot from Namur is back on the track right now. We are 20 seconds into this jam and we still haven't passed the pivot line. Penalties are being whistled and Pulp is getting the lead.
Yeah, Pulp does really well in those slightly chaotic situations, often finds a way to pick a path through it. So on a scoring pass now as Eradicate has gone stealth mode to try and complete the initial, but Namur are kind of locked in, and as I say that, but though back comes Nana Whoop to try and slow that down even more. Newcastle doing a great job of containing Pulp just for this moment. And that will be a forced call off. Oh, somebody picked up something at the end there.
It's a Newcastle blocker who goes and sits in the penalty box. So we have 2 Newcastle blockers in the penalty box right now. A situation that Bat Smash is probably going to try to take advantage of. Next to Peregrine, who is facing a full crew of Namur blockers.
So, yeah, your score is 103 to Newcastle, 181 to Namur. 6 minutes and 50 left on the clock. Here we go. Bat Smash versus Peregrine. They get a bit of a run up. Delivered in is Peregrine, who drives first, though pushes that Namur wall. But Bat Smash is stepping through on the inside. Drama Bomb had to think twice about that. Then couldn't quite make it. So Bat Smash with lead. And it's a power jam as everybody for Newcastle is in the box. 2 blockers and a jammer all in there. Just 2 being enveloped by Namur right now. That red wall closing around them, allowing Bat Smash an easy pass. Coming back round now for another, and this is a big statement from number 15, who did lose yesterday to number 19, and so we'll be looking to restore a little pride, a little confidence, and this game will go a long way to doing that. Bat Smash completes the second scoring pass.
We have Peregrine back on the track as well, facing the Namur blockers, and I believe Peregrine still has to do an initial pass.
I believe you are indeed correct. So Bat Smash can keep working away, can keep collecting. That is a third scoring pass. Peregrine now completes the initial. So, and that is it. Bat Smash says, "That's my bench. This is my turn. This is my turn in my exit.
I'm exiting right now.
I get off
I've done enough. 12 points.
They are flirting with that second century mark, batting their eyelashes at it, as Newcastle have been held to 103, 90-point differential. Big statement from the hosts here.
And that's the first time we have such a high difference in scores so far this week.
This is the biggest differential. And this is 15 versus 18, so it is relatively easily explained. And just like that, the inside line opens up beautifully thanks to the blockers, and Ninon able to come on through. But what a star pass. A little round of applause from my co-announcer Toxic there, who enjoyed that one.
I enjoyed very much the fact that Terry Sutton just was in front of the pack and very nicely grabbed the cover and ran with it. It was very fast. I don't know how many seconds this jam lasted, but not even 30, right?
No, that was
a very fast one. And
3
points for Namur will be scored. So that's really good action on Newcastle, really to try to prevent Namur from keeping on scoring. So yeah, you should really try to do a fast start pass, go fast around, and just prevent these amazing jammers to score anything against you.
Yeah, and it's damage limitation, isn't it, in these dying 4 minutes here. You want to minimise that gap as much as possible so you can keep your game point average up. But yeah, as we said, it's been very tight all weekend, and this is the biggest differential we've seen between two teams here. But we do have a travelling team, we do have the home team, so there is something to be said for going home and sleeping in your own bed before you come back and play again. So here we go. Long Rule versus Eradicate. Empty box, I believe. Yep, we get a little shot of it in the background there, and we see that everyone's on track, and Newcastle do well to envelop, but number 39 in there is trying to cause some chaos, and it helps. Oh, what a hit. Just enough, and we see Eradicate go through on the inside for lead.
Oh. I am confused. I think Eradicate was confused as well, because I thought Eradicate had the lead.
I mean, count me in the confused club here, Toxic.
Okay. Okay, maybe Laurel had taken up the lead and the jammer ref for Newcastle didn't notice and give it again. But clearly Laurel called it.
Listen, nobody's bothered about it.
Okay, so we are the only one who are confused.
So never mind. No points in that one. Let's go again.
And it's fight for the jammer line again with eight people going in. But we have Peregrine, who has managed to sneakily go on the inside and push, and get lead jammer status just after the pivot line. We have Pub, who has second of the jammer cover, while Peregrine is already committing for a first scoring trip. And while Pub is being recycled at the end of the pack, really good offense work from Terry Sudran, trying to help Peregrine right there in the first turn. This is a big fight, trying to prevent the Namur tripod for staying a tripod, honestly.
But the Canny Belters did a gorgeous job at the back there. They've caught and contained Pulp here, but Namur getting the recycle on Peregrine. As we see the pivots just hugging each other nicely there, but Pulp not able to make any real progress. There was a star pass at the end there by the seams of Figs, yes.
Or maybe just trying to make it happen, but Peregrine calls it after just one scoring trip.
The last two jams have ended very confusingly for me. I feel like I'm not quite following what's going on here. Let's see if we can get a nice clean one going here. Newcastle did pick up 4 points in that last jam. 107 on the board to them, 196. They just holding Namur away from that set double century. And Julia has no intention of letting them get anywhere near it anytime soon. So here goes Newcastle. All those white bodies piling around. I promise you, Bat Smash is in there. Explodes on the outside. Does have the cover in hand. Newcastle lose a blocker to the box in that defensive effort. And Julia grabs whatever points she can and calls it from the floor. Oh,
and it was grabbing also literally the teammates.
Yeah, literally
on the way to the floor.
But that jam cost Newcastle 2 blockers. You see sitting in the box, so that's pretty Skate Machine and Shred, who will be having to sit this one out for at least 20 seconds. But we're going to see Eradicate go up against Ninon here. Let's see what we can do. Namur with that one blocker lurking out front. Here we go. Up the inside goes Ninon. Great hit there. That was number 27. Hit 1 per 1. Knitting up a storm out here. Everyone's in turn 1. It's Ninon on the outside who gets it, strides away from the pack as we see Eradicate. So incredibly well trained there. And another star pass that delights Toxic.
I love it.
Oh,
they did so nicely.
Never mind your star pass, says Ninon. Look at my apex moves.
That's your favorite thing. That's for your excitement.
It's my favorite thing. Get some air, baby. Get some air. So Ninon coming back in. Terry Sudran now wearing the star. But first, tap the hip, see what you get. And,
Ninon just squeezing some hip and getting 1 additional point and no point for Newcastle. And look at that. Namur has reached the 200.
That's the first 200
that we've seen so far this weekend.
Apart from the boys' game.
The what?
The boys' game.
The boys' game. Yes. Yeah. But it's not technically part of the tournament.
No.
But in this game isn't either. But yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to feel left out. They'd be like, we scored loads. Let's see who
They
could
did.
score loads now, because Peregrine will want to put some points up before Newcastle. Out with lead, jamming for them. A bat smash in the thick of it at the pivot line. Newcastle doing a great job, but Helen Drew goes to the box. Bat smash is out. Newcastle lose a second blocker. So the support is minimal for Peregrine, who is driving so hard on that inside line. Falls to the inside and does manage to deny Namur any points.
Oh, and this was probably the last jam. I didn't notice.
I was like, why are they clapping?
Yeah,
I
because
thought, yeah.
it's most over. So Namur managed to score this, to reach the 200 point just before the end of the game. Well, the jam before.
And Newcastle picking up the last 4 points of the game. So we will get that official now. But look at them canny belters. What a bunch of buttes. Travelled all the way here to Belgium. And they came in undefeated, but they are going home having learnt a whole lot from their competition this weekend.
Yeah, and having shown us also that they are real fighters,
they're
and
not,
really, really good.
They're not that far away. And honestly, some penalty trouble could really make the difference. But give it up for our wonderful host, Namur, who have done the double over Newcastle this weekend. What a fabulous feeling for them.